My name is Gareth Coco. I live at 980 East Street, Lennox, and own a property at 17 Alma Street. City Council members, I'm here tonight to ask you to vote yes on agenda items 11 and 16. For item 11, the Board of Health has been working for over 16 months at the request of the City Council to investigate health issues of residents in the vicinity of a Verizon cell phone tower at 877 South Street. The presentation from the Board of Health to the City Council states that harm has been done to Pittsfield residents. As Verizon has not followed the Board of Health's lawful order, the City of Pittsfield has no option but to seek recourse via legal means. Please vote yes on item 11 so legal counsel can be retained and allow the courts to provide a final answer to this issue. For the reasons that the City and the Board of Health need independent legal counsel who deal with the specifics of telecom law, so it should be that the City Council should also be able to discuss legal issues with independent legal counsel and not just from the City Solicitor. For item 16, please vote yes so the City of Pittsfield has the best possible legal assistance to support its residents. And finally, congratulations to Fire Lieutenant Christopher Bradley on his appointment to the Pittsfield Fire Department. Thank you.
Charlie Herzig.
Good evening, Charlie Herzig, 140 Plum Street, and I'm also here to talk about the cell tower. You've seen the science. We've given you all kinds of information. You know Verizon lied to you, that cell towers in close proximity are dangerous, and there are people that are suffering. My wife and I are retired on Plum Street. We're right at the corner of Plum and Alma. We've put our life into there. We're not one of the people that if this stays there, we can't leave. We're going to be there no matter what. And we're hoping that you continue to support us and continue to support the health department so that we can have a healthy retirement and a healthy neighborhood again, and also make laws to stop this from happening to anybody else in the city of Pittsfield. Thank you.
Courtney Giuliardi.
My name is Courtney Giuliardi. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. I live at 17 Alma Street. Well, I would like to. I don't. Thank you for doing the right thing on our behalf and helping us to get home. I come to you with gratitude, as I always do, for learning about this issue. The subject matter experts and doctors and attorneys are all there for your disposal if you'd like to speak to any single one of them. I know people have been emailing and reaching out, and if you have questions, those are the best people to speak to. Verizon has raised only one strictly legal issue, which is whether 47 U.S.C. 332C7 expressively preempts the emergency order, and that's from Verizon Complaint Paragraph 31. Verizon did not ask for attorney's fees, they did not ask for damages. And even if they had, the Supreme Court has expressly rules that Verizon's claims do not expose the city to damages or attorney's fees or fee shifting. This was ruled in City of Rancho Palo Verdes versus Abram, 544 U.S. 113 in 2005. Now, 47 U.S.C. 332C7 requires that the court hear and decide such action on an expedited basis. I don't think that this is going to go on for years. The decision should come promptly. Verizon's sole claim will be decided on what they call summary judgment. To the extent that the evidence is needed, it will come from the record compiled by the board. Verizon and the Board of Health and us had back and forth for 15 months. And all of that evidence is entered in, and that is done. No new evidence will need to be needed or taken. Verizon did not raise an effective prohibition claim, which is the only instance where new evidence can be taken before the court. The board has amassed an exhaustive scientific and medical record. They applied their expert judgment and resolved the facts and determined that action is necessary to protect your Pittsfield residents, all of us. Verizon has now sued, and the facts are in the order and in Verizon's letter. All of this is available as public knowledge. and I ask you to please take the time to read it before making any decisions. The city now must hire attorneys to respond to these claims, and I am asking to please do everything to ensure the board has the resources to respond, defend, and enforce this order. Thank you so very much for your time and your care, your compassion and your dignity for all of us. Thank you.
Peter Sivner.
Good evening. I'm Peter Sivner at 98 Oliver Ave in Pittsfield. It's been almost 2 years since our neighbors started asking for help. It's taken 2 years for our leaders to learn about EMF radiation and to better understand the impact the cell towers had on our neighborhood. If our mayor, city council, and board of health had listened and supported our fight to get rid of this tower loudly and with unity, I don't believe we'd now be facing a lawsuit from a multi-billion-dollar corporation. As it stands, it appears the process will slowly move along with more referrals with what appears to me to be minimal urgency. I'm asking you to support budgeting funds in response to the lawsuit against the Board of Health's cease and desist order. What I ask is that all branches of our local government work to solve this dilemma and find a way to fund the unfortunate litigation. The Board of Health has done its part, documented the negative effects of EMF on humans. It's a shame the editors of the Berkshire Eagle are taking the easy way out, recommending that the city refuse to fund the litigation. I do agree that this all could have been avoided. If the zoning board had done more than looked at the map and decided the tower would be out of harm's way, if the abutters had been notified, if we all understood the risks of EMF pollution and adjusted our laws in advance to ensure safe neighborhoods, if our local officials had taken up the fight with vigor, we might have avoided this mess. I ask that you find a way to take advantage of the expert legal advice that has been offered and to develop the will and commitment to allowing our neighbors to return to their homes. I believe the city would rather be known as a community that will go to bat for its neighbors, a city that will do what is right, not a city that allows businesses to ruin neighborhoods and people's health. When new businesses begin to look to moving into Pittsfield, I prefer to see their internet search reflect the commitment of our government to do the right thing. Please work together with the mayor, the Board of Health to help our neighborhood. Thank you.
Amy Judd.
Good evening. My name is Amy Judd. I live at 6 Main Street in Lenox, which is the Curtis Hotel, and it is the Lenox Housing Authority. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight. As I spoke last time, cell towers are a social justice issue. They are often placed in poor and low-income areas. Recently, Pittsfield announced it is concerned about redlining and committed to resolving the mistakes of the past. They want to now put a tower on the Curtis Hotel, which is all elderly people, low-income people. Have you looked at where your macro cell towers are located? Placing them in residential areas is a mistake and one you have the power to correct. It is important that you know that there was a ruling against the FCC on August 13, 2021. You should know that in that case, the U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit ruled that the December 2019 decision by the Federal Communications Commission to retain its 1996 limits for human exposure to wireless radiation was, quote, arbitrary and capricious, unquote. The court further ruled that the FCC failed to address impacts of long-term wireless exposure, impacts to children, the testimony of people injured by wireless radiation, impacts to wildlife and the environment, impacts to the developing brain and reproduction. Both industry and independent science shows harm. No one can show safety. Verizon cannot and will not tell you its towers are safe. They can only tell you that they are in compliance with FCC's outdated standards. Compliance with standards that have been ruled arbitrary and capricious. Standards that are for a 6-minute exposure only. Standards that are based on heating, not on biological health. Over 6,000 municipalities have taken precautions over cell towers by ensuring they are sited farther from homes. Many, like Easton, Connecticut, have moratoriums in place until towers can be shown as safe. Please do the right thing and support your Board of Health and your residents. Thank you.
Amelia Giuliardi.
Hello, my name is Amelia. I used to live at 17 Alma Street, but can no longer live there since my home has been made uninhabitable by a cell tower. Thank you for allowing me to speak tonight, and thank you for believing me when I tell you, when my doctors tell you, and when the subject matter experts tell you that I have been injured by one. The Berkshire Eagle had an article over the weekend about survivors of sexual assault. It referenced an international campaign called Start by Believing. You can go online at startbybelieving.org and take the pledge that when someone tells you their experience, that you not only believe them, but support them on the road to healing and justice and help to end the silence. Our neighbors come before you telling you their experiences. They were not sick before the cell tower. They are now. Our doctors have provided proof of harm, but we are the evidence. You have heard in emails from people sent to you from across our nation and around the world that people are harmed by wireless radiation from cell towers every day. City councilors and legislators like you are listening. People are listening because the victims are telling their stories. They are listening because as a country and as a city, we have decided we stand for the rights of all people. We stand for healthy and safe communities, and we stand for diversity, equity, and inclusion. We, as the city of Pittsfield, have said we can and must do better. In previous Board of Health comments, I've spoken about needing those in charge not just to be a bystander, but to be an upstander. We need you to stand with us and your residents who are hurting and displaced. This is a social justice issue. This is an environmental justice issue. This is a housing issue. Not being exposed to a cell tower, for us, is a health care issue. Please continue to stand with us and the Board of Health and provide them with all the resources they need to defend Verizon's order. Thank you.